What if I told you that right now there are invisible forces silently sabotaging your life? They creep into your mind, your habits, and your relationships, leaving behind chaos and weakness. These forces are not loud. They don't announce their presence. Instead, they linger in the background, quietly eroding your strength, your peace, and your purpose. The worst part? Most people live their entire lives shackled by these forces, never realizing the power they could reclaim by eliminating them. But you're not most people. You've already taken the first step by being here, seeking something deeper, something stronger. Today, we're going to uncover the 5 silent forces that Stoicism warns us about, forces that keep you weak, distracted, and enslaved to destructive emotions. With wisdom from Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, you'll learn not just to recognize these forces, but to obliterate them quietly and decisively. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you won't just see the chains, you'll have the tools to break them forever. And if you're ready to reclaim your strength and live with unshakable purpose, make sure you subscribe now. This is only the beginning of a journey that will change your life. Are you ready to become unstoppable? Let's begin. The whisper of validation. Imagine standing on a stage before a faceless crowd, their applause echoing in your ears. For a brief moment you feel invincible, but as the clapping fades, so does your confidence, leaving behind a hollow ache. This is the trap of validation, the silent whisper that convinces you your worth lies in the hands of others. It's a cruel illusion, one that the Stoics warned us about centuries ago. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor, once wrote, "We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." This paradox is at the root of why we seek validation. We crave the approval of others more than we trust our own judgment. And it's killing our peace of mind. Validation is an addictive drug, one that disguises itself as harmless encouragement. Social media amplifies this addiction. A like, a comment, a share. They feel like tiny bursts of approval, like warm light on a cold day. But the warmth is fleeting, and the light fades quickly, leaving us scrambling for more. The Stoics would call this a form of slavery, an enslavement to the opinions of others. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic teachers, warned, "If you wish to be free, don't wish for things to happen as you would like them to happen. Wish instead for things to happen as they do happen." The need for validation is a wish for others to define your worth, and it robs you of the freedom to define it yourself. To break free from this whisper, we must first confront its origin. Why do we seek validation? The answer lies in fear. Fear of being unseen, fear of being misunderstood, fear of being unworthy. The Stoics teach us that these fears are illusions. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "Your mind will take the shape of what you frequently hold in thought, for the human spirit is guided by its thoughts." If your thoughts are constantly centered on how others perceive you, your spirit will reflect their judgment. But if your thoughts are rooted in your own principles, courage, wisdom, integrity, your spirit will become unshakable. The path to eliminating the need for validation is not easy, but it is simple. Begin by observing the moments when you seek approval. The next time you're tempted to post something online, ask yourself, am I sharing this because it's meaningful to me, or because I want attention? When you find yourself fishing for compliments, pause and reflect. Does their opinion truly define my value? The answer, every time, is no. This quiet introspection, repeated daily, is the first step toward reclaiming your autonomy. Slowly but surely you will realize that the only validation you need is your own. As you embark on this journey, remember this: true freedom comes not from applause, but from inner peace. By silencing the whisper of validation, you open the door to a life rooted in self-control and fortitude, the very virtues that the Stoics championed. And if this resonates with you, don't keep it to yourself. Subscribe now and join a community of seekers who refuse to be enslaved by external approval. Together we will walk the path of strength and clarity, unshackled and unstoppable. This is just the beginning. The echo of complaints. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine a life where complaints do not exist. A world where your energy is not spent on whining about what cannot be changed, but focused entirely on what can. Now, open your eyes. That world is within your reach. But to claim it, you must face a hard truth. Complaints are the anthem of the defeated. Complaints are seductive. They offer the illusion of relief, a fleeting comfort in voicing frustration. But beneath this illusion lies a deeper wound. Every complaint you utter chains you to your circumstances, declaring that the situation controls you. Marcus Aurelius warned, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Complaints halt this progress, blinding us to the path forward and leaving us stranded in our grievances. Let us examine the anatomy of a complaint. When you grumble about the weather, the slow internet, or a colleague's behavior, you are surrendering your peace to something entirely beyond your control. You are, in essence, declaring, "I am powerless." But here's the liberating truth. You are not. Complaining is the language of those who have forgotten their power, while silence is the voice of those who choose action over victimhood. Epictetus, a Stoic born into slavery, could have filled volumes with complaints about his circumstances. Instead, he taught us this: it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. His life was a testament to the strength found in choosing gratitude and action over despair and grumbling. So, how do we escape the echo of complaints? We begin by replacing them with questions. Instead of, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What can I do about it?" Instead of lamenting the obstacle, seek the lesson it offers. The moment you replace complaint with curiosity, you transform adversity into growth. The shadow of toxic relationships. The people closest to you are not just companions, they are mirrors, reflecting and amplifying your strengths or your weaknesses. But here's the question you must ask yourself: are the people in your life sharpening you or dulling you? If the answer is the latter, you are living in the shadow of toxic relationships, and that shadow is suffocating your light. Seneca's warning resounds through time: withdraw into yourself as far as you can. Associate with those who will make a better man of you. Welcome those whom you yourself can improve. The process is a mutual one. Men learn as they teach. Yet, how often do we cling to relationships that harm us, mistaking history or obligation for loyalty? Toxic relationships don't always scream. Often, they whisper. They whisper doubts, insecurities, and mediocrity until you begin to believe them as your own. Consider this: every interaction is an exchange of energy. Toxic relationships drain more than they give, leaving you feeling depleted, frustrated, or stuck. It's not just their negativity that poisons you, it's your consent to remain in their orbit. Epictetus said, "The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. Anything less is a betrayal of your potential." Letting go of toxic relationships is not an act of cruelty, but of courage. It requires you to prioritize your growth over the comfort of familiarity. Distance does not mean hatred. It means choosing peace over chaos, clarity over confusion. Begin quietly. No grand declarations, no confrontations. Shift your focus toward those who inspire you and away from those who drain you. By removing these shadows, you make space for light, for people who will challenge and elevate you. The illusion of control over others. Pause for a moment and think about the last time you tried to control someone. Perhaps you wanted to change their opinion, their behavior, or their choices. Did it work? Or did it leave you feeling frustrated, powerless, and bitter? Here's the truth the Stoics understood. The more we try to control others, the more we lose control over ourselves. Epictetus said, "There is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will." Yet, in our quest for control, we forget this. We invest our energy in shaping others, believing that if we can just mold them into who we want them to be, we will find peace. But peace does not come from external victories. It comes from mastering the internal battlefield. The illusion of control over others is one of the most destructive traps we fall into. Every time you argue with someone, trying to sway their beliefs, you are fighting a war you cannot win. Every time you manipulate someone's actions, you are betraying the Stoic principle of respecting autonomy. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." When you obsess over controlling others, you stain your soul with frustration, anger, and despair. To break free, you must shift your focus entirely. Let others be as they are. Their actions, thoughts, and opinions are not yours to command. Instead, turn inward and ask yourself, how can I respond with virtue? How can I act in alignment with my principles? The moment you stop trying to control others is the moment you reclaim control over yourself. It is a quiet revolution, one that brings not just peace, but power. The fear that chains you. Fear is the final chain, the most invisible, the most insidious, and the most powerful. Fear whispers lies into your soul, that you are not enough, that the unknown will destroy you, that failure is to be avoided at all costs. But fear is not your enemy. Fear is your teacher, and if you can face it, you will discover that it was never as strong as it seemed. The Stoics taught us to meet fear head-on, to see it not as a threat, but as an opportunity. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." How often do we let the shadow of fear grow larger than the thing itself? We imagine worst-case scenarios, create monsters in our minds, and shrink from challenges because of what might happen. But the truth is this: fear thrives on avoidance. The more you run, the stronger it becomes. Marcus Aurelius, a man who faced wars, plagues, and betrayal, taught us the antidote. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Fear is an external event. Your reaction to it is internal. By facing fear with courage, you strip it of its power. You see it for what it truly is, a passing shadow, not an unbreakable chain. To eliminate fear, begin by naming it. What exactly are you afraid of? Failure, rejection, pain? Once you name it, confront it. Take small, deliberate steps toward the thing you fear most. Each step weakens its grip, and with every act of courage, you grow stronger. Fear does not disappear, but it transforms from a chain into a compass, guiding you toward the life you are meant to live. We have unchained ourselves from 4 toxic forces, but the journey is not complete. The final barrier to true freedom lies within, a force so deeply ingrained you may not even recognize it. What is it? Stay tuned for our next video, where we reveal the ultimate obstacle to your strength and how to overcome it. If you found this journey meaningful, don't stop here. Hit subscribe, join our community, and let's continue this path toward unshakable peace together. Comment below. What fear will you face today? Your courage could inspire someone else to begin their transformation.